on that application, talked about sex toys, talked about sex kinks, things that I like to do in the bedroom, things that I get attracted to, things that I don't get attracted to. Easy.
Do you get a lot of sponsors, or did like brands reach out by any chance from the TV show? Or
right now, everything that I've been getting hasn't, like, I had one photo shoot where I got paid for it, but apart from that, everything that I've been getting has just been like free stuff. It hasn't been like anything that I get paid for. So say like I've got a few like skincare products. I've been able to go to like a few restaurants and bars and stuff like that, but for free, but I haven't been getting paid or anything like that for it. So I think all of that stuff, once you have like a really big following and like you're a proper influencer, but if you see my Instagram, it's pretty small. So no money on Instagram yet.
So like in terms of say expectations, leaving the show with a bang as well, because it was kind of sad when you left. I'm not gonna lie. Like everyone around the circle was kind of like, oh shit, Ronnie's going, you know what I mean? Then the testimonials from, when they show the face cams, the testimonials are like, oh, Ronnie's a good guy, he brings energy. So you come out, was it as what you expected, or did you expect more? Or like what were your thought processes like leaving the villa at that time?
My thought processes at the time was actually that I wanted to leave the villa. That's why like I wasn't even upset or anything. Like say that whole day, we kind of knew an elimination was going to happen because the villa was full. Like we had 14 people there. So we knew that new people are going to have to come in. So they're going to kick out either one person or two people, or even four people, who knows? So we kind of like knew there was going to be an elimination either that day or the day after. So like I kind of expected it, because if someone was in that point of time when I got eliminated, if someone was to be eliminated, especially out of the guys, it kind of had to be me, because everyone had like a connection with their couple. Even Tara had a connection with Emily at the time. So if there was to be a guy leaving the villa, like it had to be me. Like there was no other guy to leave the villa at that time.
And it was like, were you the youngest person there, Ronnie?
Pardon?
Were you the youngest person there?
Out of the guys, yes. I think Lexi's a year younger than me.
Wow. You were saying, Krishn, sorry for cutting you out.
No, it's all right. So you left the villa, you come back home, like what happens? What's going through your head? What's the first sort of things that you want to do? Because at that stage as well, like all your villa friends are still in the villa as well. There's like, I think maybe one or two people that had left as well at that time. I saw you did a collaboration with that TikToker he seems like a sick guy. What's his name?
Olan. Yeah.
Olan, yeah. He seems like, I'd love to get him on as well if you could. We might message him. I'd love to get it. He seems like a sick guy. But you did a few collaborations. But yeah, what was it like in terms of that initial coming back home and it's like, oh shit, back to reality, you know what I mean?
And to add to that, what was the time difference from it being aired?
I can't say that. I've been in trouble a few times.
Okay.
But yeah. When I came back, I think the first thing that I did was I came back to Bondi, and the day after I straight away saw like my close friends. And obviously I called like my mom and stuff who lives in Melbourne, and I saw my grandparents that night because I'm staying at their place for the meantime. And then the day after, when I came back, I straight away met up with like my best friends in Bondi, a few of them. And Bondi is like a really close circle. So like all of my close friends, we all live within like 2 minutes of each other. Even now after this, I'm going to go meet up with my friend, and we have like a little business in mind that we're going to do for a few months. But I remember when I came, because I hadn't spoken to anyone in like 2 months. I had like no phone or anything. So when I came back, it was like very, very relaxing and relieving to meet like my group of people that I had on time. And especially because these are the kind of guys that have like zero filter. We talk about everything. Like I'm telling you, like literally the most uncomfortable topics that if you heard anyone else speak about, you'd be like, yeah, that guy's got problems. They start talking about this. And for me, I haven't like had these conversations in 2 months, because a lot of the people in there, as soon as I would start to talk about these sort of things, I can see them give me eyes like, dude, this is on camera. I don't think we should be talking about this now. So I remember when I came back, I had these like kind of conversations. I just came, it just relaxed me again, and I came back to peace. And
you let it all out. You just let it all out of your system. You just finally just got to be yourself.
It's very comforting, to be back like with people that like I know and I can trust and stuff like that. But I still had a lot of fun inside the villa. I think you asked the question of, was it everything that I expected? For me, it's not really that I expected like anything inside the villa. Like I hadn't watched Love Island, like a full season of it. I'd seen a few clips before I came on the show. I assumed it was going to be something like X on the beach because I've seen that just without the X's coming in, or Too Hot to Handle. I thought it'd be like more of a relaxed vibe. I didn't know like everyone was there like really trying to fall in love. It's not like I didn't try to fall in love. Like I made the time to go speak to all the girls and see if I had a connection. But also when it comes to like relationship wise, I'm very like picky. I already kind of know when I meet a girl, if that's the kind of girl I'll fall in love with or not. So like when I got there and I spoke to all the girls, I realized like, nah, these girls, like, I don't think I'm going to fall in love with. So I was just there, like having a good time around, like speaking to a few different girls, seeing if I can get a connection and all of that sort of stuff. But I wasn't so serious on really trying to fall in love with the girls that were in the villa at the time, just because if I was to be there and leave with a girlfriend, that girlfriend has to be a girlfriend that like I fall in love with. I can't.
Yeah, 100%. Got to be someone you can commit to and then see something long term, right?
So Ronni, what's been like the strategy now? So it sounds like you sort of know yourself, you sort of know the type of people you would vibe with. Do you sort of just like cast a net, talk to a bunch of people, and the people that you get like an international, like an initial spark, then you initiate for a date? What's been the strategy?
Before the show, I had like my strategy, especially because we were kind of like in lockdown. So I remember when I was like 18, 19, I used to just go to like clubs and just try like pick up at clubs, if I'm going to be honest. That's what I used to do. And then you had like COVID, so the club was closed. And then after that, that's when I kind of like became very confident with like dating and stuff. So, I mean, it's not that I have a strategy. It's like, I do things and certain things work and certain things don't work. Say if I go to a bar, I'll go to a bar and I'll get like a few numbers from different girls and speak to a few different girls. And then those numbers are in my phone. So the next week, if I feel like going on a date, I can go and I can text a number and be like, hey, how are you? Oh, let's go for drinks, on Wednesday. That's like, if I feel there's a chemistry or if I feel I want to go on a date with them, then we can do that. And then we go on a date and we get to know each other and we see what happens. So that's like one way I do it. Another way is through Instagram. I might like a few photos of a girl, or I might like a photo of hers and then send it to her by DM, put some cheesy little caption in the DM. And if she replies and I can see that she's interested, I might be like, hey, let's go get drinks, in this bar, or let's go on a date here and we can go on a date. So like when you say about meeting girls or like, how do I start to create a spark with girls? It's through dates. Like, I feel that's the best way, when it's you and her. Like I feel that's better than, going to a bar like with lots of people there. I think it's better to just go on a date, just you and her, see if there's like chemistry, and yeah.
A lot better than, let's say, spending 24 hours a day for 5 weeks with one person, right? A lot better than that.
Yeah.
Just immediately started.
Yeah, I feel the hardest thing about that is like the positive thing about that is that you're with each other for so long, so you can really get to know them really, really fast. So like after a few days, I felt like I knew the people inside that villa like really, really well after a few days. Like you really skip a lot of the time that you would usually spend getting to know someone in the outside world. The downturn to it is that like I feel the tension that builds when you don't see each other is really important. And I feel like that's a step you can't really skip. So since you don't have that like tension of, oh, I can't wait to see them again, or I can't wait, to speak to them again. Like you don't have that tension. You don't really recognize if you miss someone or if you like someone or you like really appreciate their company or not. So like you're sitting there and you're kind of confused. You're like, oh, I'm with you all day. I don't really know if I like you that much or not. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm sure a few of the other guys had the same situation where like, if you just spend too much time with one person, you can get bored of them, or you can not really know if you appreciate them or not.
Yeah, 100%. And you saw that like in some of the early episodes, I think, you see some couples at the start, like some people need that cleanness. They need that person like onto them. They're like, why haven't you talked to me all day? And some people need that space, right? And you saw one couple right at the start, the very first couple that were paired up. I won't name it, but they broke up straight away, right? Like after 2 days. And then one of them was like gutted. You already know who it is, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Ryan and Aria, like one was gutted and then one was like, bro, it's been like 2 days. Like, what are you doing? Right. And from an outside perspective, we just see 1 hour, 2 hour clips, right? We don't
Yeah.
see what happens. But like, it's also only been 2 days, but 2 days in the villa is a lot more than what it normally is, right? So yeah, it's different.
I'll touch up on that. Like, that's exactly right. Like 2 days in there literally feels like 1 week. You know, like 2 days in, like what we're talking about in the morning is completely different to what's happening at nighttime. So like, and I think Ari was probably like, I wouldn't say the only person, but she's definitely like the main girl that really went in there, really focused on finding love. And like, if she couldn't find it, she'd be very, very disappointed when she left. And, you know, that's why she was very upset when she was leaving the villa. Like, so when Aria coupled up with Ryan from the beginning, she really put in like effort, and she really like let herself go and try to get attached to Ryan straight away. That's why they started, you know, kissing so early, and she was opening up very early. So that's why she was very emotional. And naturally, girls sometimes are more emotional than guys in these situations. And Ryan in that time, I won't speak for Ryan, but I feel like Ryan was kind of just sussing it out. Like, oh, maybe I'm going to like her, but maybe someone else is going to come in. So still like reserved himself just a little bit, just in case something like that happens.
Yeah, 100%.
So Ronni, what's the plan from now to your Mexico trip or your South America trip? What's the plan in the next 1 or 2 months?
So my best friend has come back to Bondi. So he's done like his, you know, traveling around Australia and stuff like that. And he's from Mexico. So he's come back to Bondi. We've reunited. We've kind of hung out in the past week. We have a few little ideas in mind. So we've applied to a few different modeling agencies, see if anything is up there. That's just like part-time. We can get a job here and there, wherever it comes up.
Damn, that's pretty sick. And then you're like amazingly calm in your situation, and you're open. Like most people who come out of like a TV show, they're like really up themselves, cocky, but you're like really calm and chill about the situation, and you're making the most out of it, and you're like willing to do different things, try different things. That's super cool, Ronni.
Yeah, man, for me. I
think to add on to it as well, because we briefly touched on it last time we spoke, you wore your heart on your sleeve on that show. You were yourself on the show. I don't think anyone that watched it can attest to that as well. Like, you were yourself. I'm looking at some comments that like some previous Islanders were writing as well. It's like, Ronni seems so sweet. He's the funniest. You know, he's himself, right? And then you come out and you're still yourself. You're not posting stupid stories, or like, you're not. Like, you see some people that post a story and it's just like, okay, it's a cash grab, right? And cash grabs are fine, but you don't sell yourself for it, right? So you've maintained your dignity, you've maintained your self-respect as well. However people may view it, you've been yourself, and everyone can hold it. Yeah. So like, how do you that's just something that you do, it's just something that you just want to hold on to, I guess, like your true self.
Yeah, man. Like bro, like 100%. Like, whether I'm on a TV show, whether, you know, I'm an actor or some fucking like supermodel or like a professional athlete, like it doesn't matter. I'm the fucking same dude. Like, I feel like anyone that meets me in person and like actually like speaks to me understands. It's like, okay, I can be like cocky and I can say like stupid shit, and, you know, I can remove my filter and say whatever I want. But like, at the end of the day, I'm very like down to earth. I'm very grounded. Like, where when I speak to people, everyone's equal, you know, like even when I go to the bars and stuff like that, because we've gone out with the Love Island crew a few times as well, or at least a few people there. Like, obviously, a lot of people watch the show, especially the younger audiences and especially the bars we go to. So like, we do get recognized, and people are like, oh, you know, you're the guy from the show. Can I take a photo? Like, for me, that's like an intense experience. Like, I've never really had that before. I'm more keep like a low profile in Bondi, if you know what I mean. But when I go to the bars, like super chill about it. Like, yeah, of course you can take a photo. Like, and then I speak to them. And yeah, like for me, it's normal now. Like, this is chill. But I think this lasts like a few more months, and then we see what happens after that.
It's like,
so
super cool. I was just going to say, like, watching your stories, like, you've been able to find like a sort of solid circle of people that are really similar to you, Ronni. And then sort of what I've been like discovering is like, the more I'm sort of being myself, the more I'm going to attract people who are similar to me. But I also found that the more that I'm myself, I'm going to sort of detract, or like, you know, not like, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to find me interesting, even though I find myself interesting, and I do attract the highest quality people, but I'm not popular around normal people. Like, I'm boring to like the average person.
Yeah. Bro, that is 100% spot on. That's why like when I do things, like I try to like remove the filter and not just what I say, but like what I do. Like if I want to do this, I'm going to do this. If I want to start, say dancing, or if I want to start learning Spanish, or if I want to start, traveling a little bit. If I want to do it, even though, everyone's like, oh no, you need to, focus on your uni, or no, you need to, make sure you're working, so you're making this much money in the week. When I start to detract away from that and do actually like what I want to do, naturally you're going to attract people that have very similar interests and similar mindsets to you. And you're going to detract people that, are different. One thing that I found out is like, some people will feel a little bit like uncomfortable with the situation. Say, for example, you guys probably have the same situation as me. But I completely don't hang out with anyone that I was friends with in high school, because the person that I was in high school, my personality when I was in high school and the way that I acted when I was in high school would attract a certain group of people. As soon as I remove myself from that and start acting in a different way and have a different mindset altogether, and, I'm doing something else, they naturally feel just like a little bit uncomfortable around me. It's like, oh, he's changing, or he's different. And it's not to say that they are bad people and, our friends should support you even though you change. It's just naturally, if you get attracted to this and that person is not the same anymore, it's a different person, they wouldn't naturally get attracted to that different person. So naturally they're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable and they're going to, detach themselves. So that's exactly, probably what happened to you. It's exactly what's happened to me. After 19, after I moved out from home and I started to like kind of build myself into my own person and kind of pursue my own thing, naturally I removed everyone that I was friends with before, and the new group of people that I am friends with a lot more oriented towards me. It's a better environment, more positive environment, more like less judgmental environment. So everyone kind of just does their own thing. Everyone has their own goals and their own mindsets, and everyone supports each other doing, their own thing.
Yeah, 100%. I think Andy can attest to that probably the most as well. I mean, leaving high school, trying to do your own thing, it's never easy, right? Especially when I feel like in Sydney as well. I mean, we all went to selective high schools, right? Yeah, that's another fun fact of the day. Ronnie went to a selective high school as well. Yeah. Anyone listening in New South Wales. So we all went to a selective high school. We all inherently know what it's like, right? We all know that it's kind of like, really study hard, get the good marks, and, just head down, do it. And it's a snaky sort of environment as well. Sometimes it can be. At least in the school that I went to for the last 2 years, it was a little bit like the people were good. They were genuine good people, but you know what I mean? Like things happen, right? So let's touch on that. Like you left high school, you're 18, 19, you were banging good ATAR. Like people that look at you, like for anyone that's not in Sydney that's listening, ATAR is obviously the high school final mark that you get, and then you get admitted into university. So it's out of 99. And Ronnie got a really good ATAR. You got a really good score. And you went to do UNSW law, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing UNSW law, you're 19, you moved out of home, you're in Bondi, you're kind of losing a little bit of direction because you're like, do I really want to do law? Do I, the friends that I hang out with, are they really for me? You're trying to find yourself really, right? And then this application comes through. You apply to Love Island Australia. Like the logistics behind it, like you go and audition, you're 100% yourself, what was it like being in that lockdown? What was, the doors are going to open and then you're going to be walking down that sidewalk near the pool, going to see the lovely ladies in front of you. And you're thinking, all right, you got to stand out. You got to try and make yourself known. You got to be yourself at the same time as well. Like what's going through your mind at that stage as well, especially because you're still relatively young and you've just, trying to find yourself out. Like it's a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts going inside your head at one time, right?
Yeah, bro, that's like a very long like phase, like from the applications to actually walking in there. As for applying and as for like doing the application process, that was like the easiest bit for me, because you were saying about like being uncomfortable and being a little bit lost with stepping away from law and deciding what I want to do. That was complicated for me maybe when I was 20. So maybe 2 years ago, that was complicated for me because that's when I was going through the phase where I had lost all my friends. It's not that we had beef and stuff, but it's that I knew this is not the environment that I have to be in if I want to, be myself. So naturally, when you've lost all your friends that you've been friends with for the past 10, 15 years, when you don't have that like comfort of going to that group. And like for me, lots of people like speak to people about it. Like they might have family and they might be, I'm struggling with this, or, my friend said this, I'm losing friends, you know, they'll have like a support network. But for me, since I decided to just move out, like I went through this like all alone. And that's something that I'm very proud of, because I'm not one to go and speak to people and try get them to come and help me out with my problems. I've always been like the kind of guy that if I'm struggling, like I'm going to do it myself, and I'll push through with myself. So I remember when I was 20, for me, now when I look back at it, I'm like, I went through a lot. But when I was in that position, when I was 20, my mind was so focused and like so obsessed with like self-development and just developing myself and being like 110% Ronni, and 0% anyone else, was 0% influence from anyone else. So since I was so obsessed about that, the fact that I had lost all my friends and the fact that I'm doing a degree that I don't even want to do was like irrelevant to me. I was just focused on doing, you know, my own thing. So I passed through that. I think it took me maybe like 6 or 7 months to kind of become like really confident in what I was doing with myself. And then that reached onto later moving out with another bunch of friends. And that at this point, I'd kind of like found a better environment to be with. So I had new friends. I had a new job. I ditched law from uni. So my mind was a lot more clear with what I wanted to do. And then the process for Love Island came around, and it came around at the perfect time for me, because the week before I saw the application, my exchange to Madrid, because I was meant to go to Madrid and live in Madrid for a little bit, had just got cancelled because of coronavirus. I'm like, I put a lot of effort into organizing this exchange. Now it's just being cancelled. I'm free to do whatever I want now. So my mate tagged me in an application and I applied like with zero hesitation. The questions, I zero filter in typing the questions. Yeah, and then they ask about all these like sexual questions, sexual fantasies. I just went all out, man, exactly the same way that I would speak to my friends. I wrote the exact same stuff down on that application. You know, talked about sex toys, talked about sex kinks, things that I like to do in the bedroom, things that I get attracted to, things that I don't get attracted to. Easy. And then we go through the application process, and finally I get in, which I was like very grateful for. I was like, wow, these guys want me to be on their show. Yeah, you know, like, yeah. So I knew probably for about 2 months before actually going there that I was going to be on the show, but also starting on the show. It's like, So for like 2 months, I'm just like skipping around like Bondi, like so happy. I'm like, man, this is going to be unreal. I cannot wait to go on there. And then you go in quarantine before the show because of coronavirus, which we're alone. So like we have no connection to anyone, like no phone, no internet. We can't even watch like Netflix on the TV. And we only see one person per day, and that's like the person that like does our groceries and stuff like that for us. So for two weeks we get like really like isolated. Like I really missed meeting new people, because like where I live in Sydney, like I meet new people almost like every single day, just because it's a really like close community. Everyone's really friendly. So I really missed like meeting new people. So that's like when I finally came to the door and I had to open the door and stuff, like I was really excited. But I'll say with the introduction bit, I remember waiting to go inside Love Island is like nerve-wracking, man, because you're waiting in a tent and they strap you up with the microphone. They put you in front of the camera for the first time. And for most of us, we've never been on TV before, let alone like done videos like this before. So for me, it was nerve-wracking. I remember I was standing outside the door with the producer, and I could hear Taku's voice because Taku was in front of me, and Taku's really loud. So I can hear his voice. Like, I forgot what he's saying. He's like, madame, yeah, come here, madame. yeah. So I can hear this, and I'm standing there with the producer. I'm like, bro, this guy's confident. And the producer's like, and I'm nervous as fuck. And the producer's like, okay, Ronni, lots of the energy. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like 3, 2, 1. And then that's when I'm like, oofa, you know, continue down and stuff. Yeah. But I remember before that moment, like, I was so nervous. I was like this.
Where did you get all that confidence from, Ronni? Were you confident in high school? Were you this type of person? Where did this sort of like extroverted sort of Ronni come from?
Yeah, like the thing is, in high school, like I was like growing up, even from a young age, I was always confident, but only around people that like knew me, or around like people that I know. But as for meeting new people, or like in a group setting that I've never been before, like I was never really that confident. Like I'd be very shy, you know, going to parties and meeting people that I wouldn't know. Like I remember I used to get +1 a lot for my old school. because it's a boys and girls school in Sydney boys, and in the selective schools, we don't have a lot of parties, you know? So I'd get +1 to like these parties from friends from my old school. And I'd go in and naturally I'll just go straight to the people that I know, you know, I wouldn't go up to people that I don't know in the party and be like, hey, how are you? Not because I'm rude, but because I'd be nervous. I'm like, oh, what if they judge me like this? What if they think I'm a weirdo? What if they think I'm just trying to hit on them? Like that sort of thing. But my confidence came from after I had moved out from home and I started to become a lot more like independent. And I did like literally everything for myself, like from very basic things like cooking, cleaning, you know, paying rent, to bigger things like going on lots of dates and stuff like that. Kind of running my life and doing exactly like what I want to do. Because when I moved out from home, I remember I took a term off uni and I changed jobs and I started to work like at a cocktail bar. And at the same time, I was working at a gym, and in the gym, I was the instructor. So I had like the microphone on here. So naturally, when you do like these new things that you've never done before and you succeed at them and you do them well, you're like even like 2 months ago, I had no clue how to do this. Now I'm really good at it naturally like that. It's building blocks. And eventually I got the mindset of like, I can do like anything that I want, and it's okay if I'm shit at it. Like if you start at something and if you're new at something, you're supposed to be shit at it. So like, I might not be confident that I'll be good at it, but I'm confident enough to know that with practice, I will be good at it. So that's kind of like where my confidence came from.
Dude, recently, like over the last year, every day I would like practice because I have a guitar. So I'll like spend 10, 15 minutes playing the guitar. But then like a month ago, or like 2 weeks ago, I play it 10 minutes every morning. I don't touch the guitar any other time. I was like, why the am I doing this? And like, it was one, because if I do something, I want to be consistent with it and not give up. But two, I was like, I don't even enjoy playing guitar. Like what the is happening? And then I tried playing the piano because I have this keyboard, and I've been having so much more fun. Like it's something that after work I'd play, like, you know, not only do I play 10 minutes every morning, but I wouldn't mind going out of my way and just to play. And I've been learning off like a phone app called Simple Piano. But I was like, damn, like this whole time I was just playing guitar because I thought it's something that is a good skill. People think it's cool if you know how to play a guitar, but I didn't really enjoy it. And like, it was weird, it only clicked recently. So I'm trying to like push more towards doing things I actually enjoy, because I feel like a lot of people do things because other people do it.
Yeah, no, 100% with they'll do things that other people do. But with that, I've also noticed, like, even for myself, like a lot of the times I would not enjoy something, but not because I don't enjoy it, but because I feel like I'm not good at it. So therefore I don't enjoy it. So that's why I feel like the mentality of, if you do something, you're supposed to be bad at it. That's part of the learning curve. I feel like with that mentality, you just try more things. So if you want to try the guitar, you try the guitar. You might go try the piano, or you like the piano more than the guitar. So that shows you, okay, I'm going to go play the piano now. Like the more things you try, you kind of have an idea of what you like and what you don't like. Like even for me, I remember when I started dancing, maybe like at the beginning of this year, actually, I started to go to actual like dancing classes. I remember when I like, don't get me wrong, right now I'm still shit, like I'm still a beginner. But I remember when I went there, I was like hopeless. I was like, dude, what am I doing? What am I doing? But like, I'm just happy that I went and I tried it. And then after you do it a little bit more, I think it took me maybe like 2 months to actually start to enjoy it. Like the first 2 months, I was kind of just like pushing myself to go. And then after 2 months, that's when I started to like really like the music, you know, and I really like the vibe. And then that's when I started to really enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. And you show that when you're on there. You gave a few dance classes as well, even though
they should have shown more of the dance class, because at the end of it, like we did like a sequence. There was like 3 or 4 moves, and it was like we were turning one turn, another turn, change the angle so you come a little bit closer, like, and everyone got it. Like some of them, yeah, watching some of them, I was like, yeah, this dude has like, because we didn't have music either, so we're just doing it to the steps. But at the beginning, some people were really struggling, but by the end of it, everyone got it, and everyone was like really happy as well. Like I even saw after that dance class finished, I was watching around, and there was like Aaron practicing with Jess a few different moves. You know, I saw Taku trying to remember the step. I saw in one of the later episodes, Taku was doing that dance with Kayla, and I'm like, yes, lads, yes. Now you understand the art of dancing. Like it's such like a vibe. Like you might be upset, and then you start to dance to some music, especially like couple dancing, and straight away, like your energy's up, you're happy, like you're flowing. It's good.
That's your lasting impression on the villa. You watch Taco doing your dance, you're like, yeah, no, that's me. I told him that. You know
Yeah, no, I saw it. I'm like, Taco, I know exactly what you're trying to do there, bro. I know exactly what you're trying to do. No hate, because I do the exact same thing.
Exact same thing.
You're in a bar, you and the girl not really vibing, like not really have much chemistry, but you still want some. So it's like, hey, baby, come here. And then you start to dance. Yeah.
I love it. Touching on something that you mentioned earlier, in your early 20s, you mentioned that you like to push through mental barriers by yourself. You like to just, head down and hone through it. You don't really call a support group. I'm kind of similar. I don't really have a support group that I call. I'll just put my head down and just get through myself, because that's the only way I know how to do it. I think maybe as men who struggle to speak out for what they are struggling with, maybe that's something we all need to work on. And I think that might be something that collectively all three of us need to work on, just picking up the phone and just calling someone. And I just want to elaborate, because everyone goes through those phases, whether they have a support group or not. They do go through times where they're battling inner demons and shit. In the villa, like, was there ever a time where you needed to like just step away and just, I think from what I've heard, there is a psychologist on site. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So there is one. So was there ever a time where either yourself or any of the other islanders just like, time out, I need to like go outside and like fresh air, just like either for a few hours or a day or something? Like, you might not be able to say, but I know that you obviously took some time out for yourself as well, just chilling by yourself. But did it ever get like into your head, you like, I need to take a break?
I mean, like, I don't think anyone stepped out to go speak to the psychologist. I don't think anyone went to like that level of like, because at the end of the day, there was 10 of us that started there. We're all there in the exact same position. Like even though, say one day I might feel shit, I know like a few of the other islanders in the same position. They're stressing over things they wouldn't usually stress about. So I think that was kind of the most liberating thing about it, is that like our support network was kind of each other. So like when we did have problems or we were struggling a little bit, we'll just go speak to the boys or to the girls or like to our couple about it. And like that was kind of a liberating part of the show as well. So I don't think anyone really needed to go and speak to the psychologist. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I was absent for what happened with Aaron and Jess, but I guess, something must have happened there. But I think one of the main ones, especially when you start to get really stressed, is you get stressed just because you don't have your own alone time. And your alone time is kind of like your mental reset. Like when you have a stressful day at work, or, someone is really annoying you, you go back home, you listen to some music, you might have a shower, you might eat by yourself, and you just like have your own space. And that's when you can mentally like reset. You can relax yourself there. That was the hardest part. And then I think after about a week, it kind of kicked in. I'm like, dude, I'm getting a little bit like annoyed at things that I would never really get annoyed at. It's because I haven't mentally reset. So I'd start to go in the mornings on like the day beds or the bean bags with a coffee and just like chill by myself and just try to like breathe and like try to reset myself naturally. And you'd have like other islanders, like they're really nice for this, and I appreciate it a lot, but like other islanders come up and be like, oh, Ronni, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And I'm just like, dude, I'm fine. Just leave me alone. I need my own space, bro. Like, but they come up because they care. Like the last thing that any of us want is to be inside that villa and one of us feels like excluded or one of us feels like really shit and everyone's feeling good. Like that's the last thing. At the end of the day, it was like a team environment and we all got put in this same situation together. We're going through these new experiences and uncomfortable situations together. So that was the most liberating part of the show.
Yeah, I think like being comfortable with yourself and being alone is like so important. Like I think like when I was like living in America, I went like I traveled a bit on my own, and it was like scary at first, but then I did it more and more and got easier and easier, and like you find out things about yourself, and the more you like enjoy hanging out on your own. I low-key get triggered if I hang out with someone else for too long, because I'm like the shit I do is fun, but I don't want to like force you to go off-roading, travel to random places and meet random strangers. Like I don't want to force you to listen to the type of music I want to listen to, because I just want, if I'm hanging out with someone, I want to make sure they're comfortable. So I'm like more like, if I travel, I want to just travel on my own because I get to do what I like to do. And if there's someone there, I want to accommodate them, make sure we're going to the places they want to go to.
This is a good mindset to have. And I feel like it takes time to learn that mindset, because like I can go and say, remember how I said that I kind of detached myself from my friend group from high school? I remember what really used to trigger me is I'd get all of these like new ideas and these new mindsets. I'd tell them about, oh, dude, I want to move to South America and I want to work in South America and see something there. And I want to live there for a little bit. Later, I want to go to Europe in this city here. And, you know, oh, I want to learn, you know, Spanish, or I want to learn this, I want to learn this. And I tell them about all my different ideas. And since they were like my close friends, I'd be really excited, like to go and tell them. But I never understood the fact that, oh, they have a different mindset. Since they have a different mindset, they're not going to be very supportive of a mindset that completely contradicts what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do and their mindset is that like Australia is the best country in the world. Like when you look at it, economic speaking, like it is very safe here and you have lots of opportunities. Yeah, I understand all of that. So they're kind of the mindset. And this is literally what they said. They're like, this is their reaction. I'd come and I tell them really excited and this would be their reaction. Bro, that's stupid. Why would you want to do that? People from there want to come here because it's poor over there and there's no opportunities there. And I'm like, bro, that's a very closed-minded way to think about it. You know, there's a reason why a lot of the people there enjoy their life a lot more than most of the people here. And it's nothing to do with money, because if you look at it speaking, technically they have less money than us, yet they enjoy their life more. Technically they have less opportunities for work and they can't really do exactly the work that they would want to do in their life, yet they enjoy their life more than us. Why is that? Because they have a different mindset. They have different values. They prioritize, say, relationships with people, you know, and their connection, you know, to people and their connection, you know, to the environment and, you know, their heritage and their nationality over things like, what is your job? What is your position at job? How many degrees do you have? What is your income at the moment? They prioritize the less materialistic and the less superficial, like the more natural things in life. And like that took me some time to figure out. But I remember when my friends would give me this reaction and would call me stupid and would say that I'm crazy, I would get very triggered. But it's not actually their fault. It's because I was trying to force a mindset onto them that they weren't naturally comfortable with accepting. You know, just that I accept it doesn't mean anyone else needs to accept it. You know, so I feel that takes time. But now I'm kind of in the position where I won't force my mindsets on anyone. I'll just like, people that have a similar mindset, I'll attract them. People that don't have a similar mindset, adios, you know, I'm not going to really hang out with you too much.
I love that because the only way you can sort of allow yourself to be open to, you know, these different mindsets and these different, you know, ideas and goals that you might have is by traveling and experiencing. Because I was the same. I won't lie. I was the same in terms of, you know, you go to school, you get the good marks, you get the university admission, you get the job, and then it's essentially your financial freedom, right? But I don't know if I've told many people this, and I'll say it, like my goal, my ambition is I want to have a cafe. I want to own a cafe. I want to run a cafe in like a small suburban area where you got the regulars coming through, but it's a nice chill place. It's like, you know, those, YouTube videos that there's YouTube videos online where it's like a 10-hour audio of just rain in a coffee shop, like people just entering into a coffee shop, or just like those ambient noises, right? Like, I don't know, just something about that. It just gives a vibe, and it's something I really want to do. So like, you know, save the money and maybe do it later. But it's hard because from an immigrant family, you know, my parents, you know, migrated here and, you know, they worked hard to have
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you get it as well, because at the end of the day, wealth building is something that they've worked so hard all their lives to do. And it's like, shit. But like, you know, me traveling to all these places, experiencing, I went to Japan, I sat down in a cafe when it was raining. It's beautiful, bro. You're having a coffee, locals are there minding their own business. I'm there reading a paper, I'm reading the news, doing my own thing. And I loved it. You know, that's something I want to do. But you're right. Like the connection people have with, you know, the environment, they value different things. You won't see that everywhere. And that's only something that, you know, not everyone will understand. So I completely understand.
If you own your own cafe and you open up your own cafe, or say, Andy, your own business, like that's yours. Like you created that. That's like the love that you're going to have for that is like the love you'll have for your kid. Like that's your thing. That's what I mean. Like I remember in uni, like especially doing law, and the people that I hang around with, and one guy that really had a massive influence on me was my criminal law teacher. And he was like a smart as guy. Like this guy was so intelligent, especially like not even with the law, but how the law is made, how the law can adapt. Like he really looked into detail with this sort of stuff. So he can easily get a job in like one of the high up law firms and be making bank, yet he's a uni teacher. And I really respected that because he told me his story on how he became that way. Like he told me about, he quit his job in law. He went to, I think he went to Honduras, which has like one of the highest murder rates in the world. And he was living in like a very poor city, and he was working as an English teacher, teaching like little Spanish kids how to speak English. And he learned Spanish when he was there and all of that sort of stuff. And he was telling me like there'd be times he'd be there in a taxi and he'd get robbed on knife point, like a knife to his throat. The taxi driver would rob, he would get robbed by a taxi driver sort of thing. And like he'd say this is like happened a few times when he was there, but overall he was very grateful for the experience because he didn't really care about the danger side of it. He more felt very, very fulfilled, like spreading his knowledge onto other people and teaching them. That's why when he came back to Australia, he's like, dude, working in a law firm where I'm making money and working for people that already have money is not fulfilling me. What I'd be more fulfilled about is teaching my mentality of the law to young law students so that one day when they become lawyers, they'll have like a more open mindset like me. That's his goal. That's what he gets satisfied with. And he was telling us this story, and I'm like for me, I was listening. I'm like, dude, like you were the man. Like one day I want to be like you, sir. One day I want to be like you. And the guy that I kind of did law with, we had similar subjects. He's sitting next to me. And he's like, oh, sir's so stupid. I don't understand why he wants to be a university student, a university teacher. He's not even making much money here. He could easily make, more money in a law firm. And I'm like, bro, well, why are you doing law? And he's like, oh, I'm just doing law because I want to go into, and also we need to decide what area of law we want to do. And for me, the most interesting one was like criminal law or like ethics law. Like these ones, like you really think with your brain, and like there's a lot of controversy in it. Other things like private law and financial law are boring, bro. Like I've done this boring, man. And like literally, like I couldn't think of anything worse. But the only people that want to do it, with the small exception of people that actually enjoy it, but the only people that want to do it because they pay more than that. And I'll speak to him and he's like, yeah, I just want to do financial law or like private law because that's where the money is. And I just want to work and make as much money as I want. And like, it's okay. You can have this mindset, but I'm saying for me and for most people, this mindset is never going to bring you to that level that say our teacher had of like actual fulfillment and actually being satisfied with what you're doing. You feel like you're doing this, but you're also gaining a lot more from doing it because like you're satisfying yourself in this way of life. So I remember, and the mentality of the guy that was sitting next to me and told me this is the mentality of 99% of the other kids studying law in UNSW. So I remember learning that, and I'm just like, bro, this is not for me. I need to get the fuck out of here. This is not the environment I need to be around.
Yeah.
Dude, so many people like lie to themselves. Like I remember when I was doing actuarial studies, like,
so that's even worse, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in it. And I was like, yeah, man, like I love maths, I like probabilities, this is why I'm doing it. But I was lying to myself. Like looking back, I only did it because you get paid a 6-figure paycheck first year out. It was like something that was prestigious. So like if you say it, people would know that you're smart. And those are the only reasons I was doing it. And I was just lying to myself why I was doing it. And people do that all the time. And I was just thinking like, what I've been trying to work on is sort of when times get tough within business or when things are slow or when things are not working out, I need to like remind myself that I've already won the lottery. I'm already doing what I enjoy. Like I've already won, even if it's not working out. Like even if you have this cafe store, Krishn, and it's not working, you already won. You've gotten off that 99% path, and even if you don't have customers, you've already won. But obviously it's much harder said than done.
You can do it again. Yeah, and you can do it again. Look, okay, you create one thing, you're having fun, you gain the experience from it, you gain the confidence of being like, you know what, all of this stuff that everyone else is doing, I'm going to create my own thing. And you've gained that experience and you've gained the confidence to do it again. And you can do it again with something else in a completely different area.
And it's crazy when you were talking about like the high school friends and stuff, like, dude, I remember I was like, so when I was doing the online e-commerce store, I remember I was making money and getting sales. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a gap year and like, I'm pretty excited to grow this out. And my high school friend was like, what? You're going to take this, you're actually taking this seriously? And I was like, what does that mean? And the crazy thing is, freaking 4 or 5 years later, the other day I was literally telling, like I caught up with him again, and I was like, hey, like I recently bought this Bitcoin miner. I spent 10 grand. It's this computer, it has 8 laptops, and it's going to mine Bitcoin. And he was like, why would you do that? Like he gave the same freaking response, even though I had all this track record to prove that, hey, I know what I'm doing. But even till this day, those type of people are going to have these weird responses. And I was just thrown off, because the people I do talk about this to are like, oh, that's so cool. Tell me how it
they
works.
give you the reassurance and they support you doing it. Yeah. But it's not to say like it's annoying, because you want a positive reaction, especially if you're really excited about something and you go and you tell someone, you want them to give you back like that same sort of like energy. But naturally, like some people are not going to be so supportive over things they wouldn't do themselves. And like, it doesn't mean they're bad people, it just means they're on a different path altogether. And that's why I feel like the environment is the most important. Like you want people that kind of have a similar sort of mentality and open-mindedness to you. And then detach yourself from other people. It's not to say you can't hang out with them. Like you can go for drinks in a bar, you can party with them, but like you wouldn't spend other time with them.
Dude, that makes so much sense. Jay-Z has this quote where it says, people impose their fears onto you. Like the reason why these group of people gave me that reaction of me spending 10 grand on a freaking computer, Bitcoin miner, is because they wouldn't do that themselves.
Yeah.
And like, if they're like, I don't have the guts to do that and I want to back myself, so I'm going to say that's a bad move. And they're like imposing their fears on you. And that's sort of why people sort of like, if people are like Krishn, like that, like don't open up a cafe, like that's not going to work, you're going to not get customers, it's not profitable. It's because that's what they're fearful of.
Yeah. Hundreds, bro, hundreds.
Yeah, it's interesting because you see that everywhere, and I mean, there's no escaping it, right? I mean, Ronni, you were in the villa. You were surrounded by so many different personalities at one time. Like you literally saw it happen, right? Like you try to have a conversation with someone, and then it could go the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like it could just go left, right, center. We'll touch on that. Why not? We'll get a little bit into you guys. So,
I like this conversation here as well. Yeah,
because you're in the villa.
One of the reasons I went for Ari instead of Courtney is because like we're talking about all of this traveling, and you do your own traveling, you open up your mindset. Ari's done her traveling, like she's been traveling for years. So even though I hadn't spoken to her and I hadn't known her that well, I just kind of jumped to that assumption that, since she's done traveling, she's going to have a very open mindset. You know, we're going to think very alike on this sort of thing, which I feel like in part, like now that I know a bit better, in part, we do kind of have a similar mindset into like traveling and being like open-minded, but then there was just a lot of other like incompatibilities, and, you know, me and Ari just didn't work out in the end because we do not get along in the slides. You know, the funniest thing is that what I will say on social media and on TikToks and on my Instagram stories is like literally how I feel. I'm not going to filter myself just because it might look bad on my part or might look bad on someone else's part. If someone asks me, because I do Q&As every now and then, if someone asks me, do you like this person? And I don't like them, I'm not going to say, hey, this is my friend. Yeah, we get along really well. Like this would be nice. And like the public would watch this and be like, oh, they're so sweet. They're so genuine. And we'd probably make more fans this way. But for me, this is very unnatural. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be myself. For me, the followers part and the fans part and the like, all of this area about like clout and all that, couldn't give a shit about it in the slightest. Because if one day I do want followers, like the followers that I want are followers that are engaged with me and my personality. Like that's who I want. Like if you say the TikTok guy Olan is funny, like the coolest thing is he's also unfiltered. He'll say whatever the fuck he wants. So his fan base and the people that support him are ones that vibe with his fan base, because he'll say things that he will not win fans, like say Love Island fans with. Like he'll talk about like bunda and, you know,
bunda
shit like that. And like he's not going to win, you know, the 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl fans, because they might be like, oh my God, you know, that's so rude and things like that. But he'll win his niche of fans. So it's all about like finding like your niche sort of thing. So say for example with Ari, I remember she did like a Q&A and someone is like, oh, would you ever be back with Ronni or something like that? And she answered something like, no, I wouldn't be back with Ronni because me and Ronni are just friends. We're on a friendship level. And then I met up with a few of the other girls and they were telling me, oh, Ari's been talking mad shit about you. She doesn't like you in the slightest. And I'm like, well, let's see who's real on social media and who's real in real life. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Yeah, but it's not like it's any animosity. Like maybe like she can have whatever opinion she wants. I couldn't care in the slightest. If she wants to, you know, hate me or have dislike for me, that's cool. Like for me, it doesn't matter because I don't hang out with her anyway. But for me, I don't have any animosity or any like hatred towards Ari. You know, Ari is completely fine. Ari can do whatever the she wants to do with her life, but just naturally me and her do not get along. So me and her would not, you know, hang out or like be in conversation or talk to each other. Like just me and her just don't get along. So for me, it's fine. It's not gonna spend energy in, you know, talking shit or hating her. I'll just leave her, let her do her own thing, and I'm gonna do my own thing, and we don't cross paths. It's simple. And that's the same mentality with a few of the other islanders. You know, inside the villa, there was never we never had moments where we really like focus on hating someone and like trying to make someone miserable just because we know we're in the same position altogether. But as soon as I leave the villa, I know some of these people that I will not get along with them in the slightest. So for me, there's just no contact. You know, I'm not going to be in contact with them. I'm not going to be thinking about them. I'm not going to be talking shit about them. I let them do their own thing. And in that same regard, I'm going to do my own thing.
I love that because you see a lot of it, especially in, I think, like UK here as well, past seasons. Like they come out and they band together and they go places to try and increase their clout, increase their relevancy, try and prolong it as long as possible, right? Because eventually, let's be real, right? Like you're a level-headed person. You know exactly what I'm going to, like, you know exactly what I mean. It doesn't last forever. You got maybe a few months and then like no one gives a fuck, right? So that's the thing, like you can't just go out and just be fake all again. Like what's the point? You know what I mean? So like, you know, there were situations in the villa where you're looking at a few conversations, you could tell that you wore your heart on the sleeve, and then, you know, there were some situations where some people, you know, heard what you said, took it out of context and just blew it up, right? And you just think like some people are they're very smart, they're very cunning, they know exactly what they're doing, they know that they're on live TV, they know they're gonna and they know that, you know, when they leave, there are some diehard fans on this show. There are some people that care way too much about what people say, what people do, what people think. Like they'll spam your comment sections and everything. And like when I watch it with my friends, I think I told you as well, we just band. So we're just like, these guys are idiots. Or, that's stupid. Or, that's pretty funny. You know what I mean? Like we just take it at face value for bands. We know it's entertainment and then leave it. But some people are like heavy into it. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you're there and then you wear your heart on your sleeve. You can probably sense that some people have that. It's just like interesting.
No, I can speak on that as well. I remember when I first, because I've since I hadn't watched Love Island, I hadn't really known what the fans are like, you know. And for me, I didn't want to know what the fans are like. I just wanted to be myself, because if I got in my mind, oh, the fans like it when you do this or when you do this, I'm not going to be myself. So for me, I just did my own thing. But touching up on that with like who's smart in the villa and who's not smart, I remember when I first got kicked out. I know you're talking about Tina, by the way, but when I first got out of the villa, like I was remembering like my last few days, and it was a bit toxic. Like a few people were like talking shit about me around the villa, and it kind of made me feel a bit like shitty at times and uncomfortable, because I wasn't. If one girl was, because girl groups are like, it's important to get along with the girl group, because they're like this in there. Like if you are not getting along with one girl and she starts talking shit to you around the other girls, you know, especially with these girls here, kind of the girls kind of got a similar mindset. So it was a bit awkward for me on that last day. But when I first got out of the villa, I remember I was a little bit salty about the situation. So like I was kind of like annoyed. I'm like, oh, you know, why would Tina do that? You know, I can't trust her, blah, blah, blah. But then as I've kind of come back to myself and everyone's kind of come out of the villa and I see everyone doing my own thing, there's absolutely like no animosity. Tina can go and do whatever Tina wants to do. In that same regard, Courtney, Ari, Jess, the rest of them can go and do exactly what they want to do as well. And like with who's smart in there, like I'm not even going to have like beef with whoever was playing the game in there. All I'm going to say is, if you want to see who's playing the game, you need to watch who says the right things at the right times. But for me, it's not like she went in there for her own purpose. She came out with, say, Mitch, and she has, you know, a great relationship with Mitch. So she succeeded in that, and she's succeeded in the fans bit as well. So Tina's done her bit and it's worked out amazing for her. And that's Tina's success. That's Tina's ability. So, you know, all props to her. And, you know, I'm going to go and do my own thing. My goal going in there was never anything, you know, to come out, say, in love with the girlfriend of my life. I was like, okay, if I meet the girl there that's right for me, great, it's going to work out. If not, no worries. I'm going to go back to Bondi and do exactly what I've been doing anyway. So I never really went in there with intention for outcome. I just went in there to around, have a good time, make it an experience, something that I enjoy. And then after that, I can leave and go do something new with my life.
Yeah, head held high.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, there's no animosity anymore.
Yeah, perfect. Well, this is. I reckon this is better than the first episode that we had. The first time we had this is really good.
60 minutes flew so fast. Like I think 17 minutes in, I was like, do we have anything else to talk about? But like the last 40 minutes just flew by so fast. This has been an amazing episode.
Easy as, guys. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Ronni.
Yeah, really appreciate your time. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you're busy as well, but this is episode 65. Yeah, thank you so much, Ronni. Like, we'll close it off there, but we'll leave all your links down below as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ronni. Really appreciate you coming on. Love the path you're going down. Love the journey of you figuring out yourself, going traveling, doing a bunch of different things. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this episode. I had fun talking to you and getting to know more about you. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Peace, guys.
To you both as well. Thanks, guys. Legends.